Welcome to our May 2024 edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything that we mentioned will be down in the description below. Let's get into it. The DJI have released an MI shoe adapter for their Mic 2 wireless audio system. This allows you to attach the Mic 2 receiver onto Sony cameras with an MI shoe interface and transmit audio directly into the camera, very similarly to what is possible with the Sony's UWP systems with the right SMAD adapter. This is a massive new feature for the DJI Mic 2 system, and it's priced at just £29, which, when paired with how reasonably priced and well featured the Mic 2 already is, makes it an incredible option and an easy recommendation now for anyone using a Sony camera wanting a solid wireless audio solution. It's not currently available on our website, but we are trying to get it on there as soon as possible, but it is available on DJI's to order now. Laowa has released a few new products this month. First off, their incredibly small Laowa Ranger Super 35 zooms are available to order. We got a set in recently to check out, and they are pretty damn awesome considering their insanely small size. They perform really well, dare I say maybe a touch better than their larger full frame counterparts in some ways. They are decently parfocal, have very well controlled breathing, and a nice image overall. They are really impressive given their size and weight, and are going to pair very well with Super 35 cameras like the Red Komodo, Sony FX30, Canon C70, and Fujifilm X-H2S. They are available separately as well as in 3-lens kits. You can also get them in both their regular solid metal housing and a lighter titanium version. It's about £500 more for the titanium ones, but for camera configurations where weight is crucial, this may be worth the extra. We've got a set in our demo fleet currently, so if you want to check them out yourselves in one of our showrooms, drop us an email via the details in the description below. Laowa also announced 2 new cinema zooms in their series, the 14-60mm t2.9 for Micro Four Thirds cameras and the 20-85mm t4 for Super 35 cameras. These are both very good ranges for their respective formats. They seem pretty well spec'd for their roughly $2,000 price tag, and for people wanting a little bit more tele range than the Super 35 ranges we just mentioned, this could be a good option to look at. Micro Four Thirds Cine zooms are also quite rare to see being released nowadays, so this could be a good option for people using MFT systems. Lastly, they announced DJI DL mount variants of their 11mm f4.5 and 14mm f4, and 3 Hasselblad XCD mount lenses, a 15mm f4.5 and 20mm f4 0D shift lenses, and the 19mm f2.8 0D. The DL mount variants could be good options for Ronin 4D and Inspire 3 users wanting something very wide with low distortion. It's also good to see some more medium format lenses hit the market, as over the next year or so I think we're going to see a lot more of them, and this is mainly thanks to Blackmagic's introduction of their 65mm Ursa, which I'm incredibly excited to check out. In a recent product update livestream, KipperTie announced 2 new products, the first being their new Strata Electro ND mount. This is their latest in their line of filtration mounts, which have become a staple for many filmmakers wanting a rock solid mount with excellent quality filter options. This new Electro features single steps of ND from clear all the way to 2.1 and is controllable electronically in a few different ways. It will be available in RF to PL, RF to EF, E to PL, and later on L mount and Z mount versions will be coming as well. The RF to EF will pass through full data, and the PL variants have the PCB installed to handle iData, but this won't be enabled at release. It looks nicely compact considering what is inside of it, and with it being designed to go onto a bunch of different cameras, there will be different pieces of support built for the different camera systems so you can get as rock solid of a mount to your camera as possible. The NDs themselves are high quality full spectrum pieces of glass with anti-reflective coatings. One interesting design choice John from KipperTie mentioned was that single pieces of glass have multiple strengths of ND on them to help keep back focus more consistent throughout the range. It can be controlled a few different ways via the optional 4-pin LEMO on the side, but it also still has physical controls. It's going to be available around the summertime and costs around £1,750. If you want to know when it becomes available, please keep an eye on our socials. Oh yeah, John also mentioned that they are planning on making an L-mount revolver, which I'm sure will be popular with Blackmagic Pixis owners once they start shipping. They also announced their new long-take 4TB CF Express Type B card. This uses the new CF Express 4 standard, which means much faster sustained reads and writes than the previous 3 standard. This means that compared to slightly older Type B cards, you can expect much faster offloads. For example, it will take roughly 25 minutes to offload a full 4TB card when using a reader and destination drive that can handle the increased speed. We use Type B cards all the time, so I'm excited for the save time offloading cards with these faster ones. It's priced at £1,250, which for a 4TB card is good, but given how much faster it is than some of its competition, it's a really attractive option. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to buy anything you see in this video or any other filmmaking or photography gear, head over to cvp.com where our experienced team is waiting to help you. Up next, Clouzen updated their Tainer portable all-in-one backup solution with a CF Express Type A adapter. The Tainer is a very well-featured solution for those times where you can't take a larger laptop for backups, but you still want the peace of mind of knowing that your footage is backed up. It's a very small and light unit and has a roughly 2 to 3 hour battery life depending on what backup source you are using. It has both an SD and CF Express Type B card slot and can now also come with a CF Express Type A adapter, has a up to 400 megabytes offload speed and an internal and user swappable M.2 SSD. The SSD being user interchangeable is awesome, and it's pretty easy to do as well. You can choose to back up your photos or videos to this internal SSD, an external source via the USB 3 port here, or to the cloud. It also has a built-in checksum, so you know that your data has been transferred correctly and you won't run into any corrupt footage later on down the line. It's available to order now on our website, link to which is in the description below. I'm very happy to announce that we are now a Nikon reseller. So yes, we can finally get some in to properly run through our regular testing. We managed to check out some at the MPTS show in London this month, and I'm really excited to get more hands-on with their kit and learn more about their systems. We've been slowly adding their stuff onto our website now, but let us know in the comments which kit interests you the most and what you would like to see us test in a video. We are also now selling Blazar lenses. This includes their Remus, which are really great looking 1.5x anamorphics, especially considering their size, image circle and price. I really want to get my hands on their Kata 2x anamorphics too. We are also now able to sell ingenue lenses in Belgium. Fujifilm has been very busy releasing 2 new cameras, 2 new lenses and some new firmware. The X-T50 is a smaller, more affordable little brother to the X-T5. It offers the same current 40 megapixel X-Trans sensor and up-to-date processing, in-body image stabilization, current autofocus system and solid video features. It's priced at £1,299 for the body only, or £1,649 with the new 16-50mm f2.8 to 4.8 zoom lens. This could be a solid option for people wanting a hybrid camera in this small form factor in the Fuji family. It's available to pre-order now. They also announced the GFX 100S2 and a new 500mm f5.6 GF lens. The GFX 100S2 is a slightly stripped back version of the GFX 100 II in a body very similar to the original 100S. Compared to the 100S, it has an improved EVF, in-body image stabilization, and autofocus system. Compared to the 102, it misses the interchangeable EVF, has reduced screen resolution, more limited video performance, and burst rates, which is partly thanks to only having SD card slots. For some photographers, these compromises are worth the price difference between the S and the regular 102. But for video users, the 102 is the better choice. The 500mm looks pretty awesome as well, decently small considering it's a 500mm for a medium format camera with built-in image stabilization. They also announced new firmware for the XS20, XT5, X106 and XH2. Here's a quick list for each camera detailing the updates, as they are all a little bit different, some more substantial than others. Sigma announced their new 24-70mm f2.8 DG-DN2 ART for Sony E and Leica L-mount cameras. We released a video all about this lens earlier this month, so if you want to learn more, check that out. But long story short, it features improved build quality over its predecessor, a declickable aperture ring, improved linear focus motors, and overall optical improvements. It's an easy recommendation for people who don't want to spend the extra on the G Master 2. It produces a sharp, clean image in a solid feeling housing, but I do wish that the manual focusing on Sony E-mount cameras was linear. It's priced at just £1,179 including VAT and is available to pre-order right now. Canon have announced that they are developing their new stills flagship camera, the R1, and it should come out later this year. They didn't tease too many features for it other than it will use a newly developed Digic Accelerator image processor alongside the existing Digic X processor, and feature a brand new sensor. They also teased some details about the autofocus system, which seems a bit more refined for sports, which given the class of the camera isn't too surprising. They also mentioned that video performance should be improved over the R3, so I'm intrigued to see exactly what that means. But this camera will primarily be a stills camera. Let us know if you want us to take a look at the camera when it comes out later this year in the comments below. Panasonic have announced their latest camera, the Lumix S9. This is aimed at being a more accessible entry-level hybrid camera, but it's only £150 less than the S5 II, while having quite a lot of the features of that camera taken out of it. It doesn't have a mechanical shutter, viewfinder, or a dual card slot, and has limited video clip recording lengths, depending on what mode you're in. It has no electric connection on the hot shoe and no headphone output as well. It does have a few features the S5 II doesn't, but these are definitely more aimed at making the camera accessible and faster to use for stuff like street photography. And I think this is where this camera could shine, as it's just so damn small while still having decent specification and image quality. However, if you're in the market for a camera at this price, I think the S5 II is worth the extra. And honestly, at £1,649, it's an incredible value which is massively slept on. With the camera, they also announced their new companion app called Lumix Lab, which will allow you to import, edit and publish your photos or videos from the camera on your smartphone. This app will only work with the S9 currently, but they are planning to open it up to other cameras as well. They also announced a 26mm f8 pancake lens to go along the S9. It's a manual focus, fixed aperture lens aimed to be as compact as possible, so it could be good for some people wanting the smallest camera package possible. Apple have introduced their new iPad Pro, which features their new M4 chip, as well as showcased a new version of Final Cut Pro 2 and Logic Pro 2 for iPad. They also showed off a new app designed for video acquisition, Final Cut Camera. This app will allow you to control all the key settings you would normally expect from a regular camera, which in the past would have required a third-party app. It also has some multicam functionality, which looks pretty cool. Phones are being used more and more across different productions, so it's going to be interesting to see if this new app gets adopted as well. Right, let's get into our quick-fire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description below. Ancient Optics released their Fuji EBC Cine Primes and the 28-70mm t2.7 Phoenix with iron glass, which is a beautiful looking rehousing of the popular Tokina 28-70mm. Atomos have released AtomOS 11.06.00 and their Master Caddy 3s are now available. Blackmagic released DaVinci Resolve 19 Public Beta 2. Filworld have announced the S7 7-inch 12G SDI monitor. Hollyland have fully released their Pyro S wireless video transmission system. Convision have released the A7S, a 7-inch 1500 nit peak brightness SDI and HDMI touchscreen monitor recorder. Leica announced the Deluxe 8, their latest Micro Four Thirds camera. Nanlite have announced the FC60B and FC120B LED fixtures and launched their sub-brand Gutek, which will be creating a range of hard cases. Megadap released their EFT Z21 EF to Z mount adapter. They also have a Z mount to E mount adapter, which is an incredible achievement given how small the difference in flange is. Movmax have released an incredibly small stabilizing arm for small action cameras, or the DJI Pocket called the Blade Arm. Portkeys have released their latest affordable 7-inch monitor, the HD7H. Samyang have announced the VAF 20mm T1.9 and 1.7x anamorphic adapter. Second Reef showed off their new 1.5x full-frame Coral anamorphic cinema primes at the Pacific Northwest Lens Summit. Sony released firmware 3.01 for the A7S III, which mainly consists of bug fixes. Sound Devices released new firmware for their 8 series and 820 Nexus products. Smallrig announced the LA090 Octabox and the MPF 970 USB-C battery. Thypok announced their new series of Eureka lenses. Tilta announced their Hydro articulating car mounting system. Tribe 7 have teased that they are releasing a second edition of their Blackwing binary prime cinema lenses. Vocas released their new lightweight baseplate. Viltrox released the AF 16mm f1.8 for Nikon Z mount and 4 clamp-on diopters. Zelmoose announced the Apollo 24mm T2 and 100mm T2.8 2x anamorphic lenses. Zeiss announced an updated version to their Syncraft system, the Syncraft Scenario 2. And lastly, ZG Cine announced their new shark fin, the VM HS2. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on next month's quick kit. And let us know what your favourite bit of kit to come out this month was down in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.